Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Happiness Retreat. I am your host, Kimberly Treves, and today we have a first for the Happiness Retreat, a dual interview. We have the great fortune to be in conversation with my dear friends and colleagues, the fabulous dream team of Natalie and Mark Viglione, a husband and wife team who runs a company together and are twin flames. Hello, Natalie and Mark, and thank you so much for taking your time to share with us today.
Hello.
Hi there.
Thank you.
And I'm Natalie.
I'm also Natalie.
Yeah. See, here we go. Kicking it off already.
Where's
Here
Mark?
we are.
Yeah.
Mark forgot to come.
No
What's our
problem.
name?
But we'll pull him in. We'll pull him in at some point.
We'll find him.
So, as this conversation is all about spirituality and the soul and becoming a master of your own energy, I'm so happy you are here today to share with us how you all have come to know and understand the theory behind twin flames and how that understanding has been a vehicle for transformation for you. So, Mark and Natalie, please tell us a little bit about your background, your education, and how you've navigated becoming yourself while in a business relationship, a personal relationship as partners in life, and as twin flames.
Yeah.
Wow, where do we start?
It's interesting. So first of all, I just want to say getting
ladies.
him on camera is like a feat. So Kimberly, this isn't see here we go. Yeah. So I'm excited. Yeah.
I'm more of a behind the camera kind of guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I direct the action.
he does. He really comes from that background. Okay. So let's see. Let's navigate this a little bit. All right. So my background. Now to get to Mark and that's a journey in and of itself. But I come from corporate land before starting a business. And I was in the, climbing that corporate ladder really high in marketing and sales roles. And I ended that corporate career as a vice president in a company in New York City. And so my background has been very, outward, very forge forward, very Natalie does whatever the hell she wants, and I'm just going to go for that shit. So no holds barred. And so that's a lot. let's just package me up as like,
I
a
was
lot.
I was kind of the opposite in a lot of ways, or as we could say, maybe complementary in a lot of ways, where, like I said, I was the behind the camera kind of guy, and I studied film and video and got into that career path, and just always worked for small boutique places, never really chasing that corporate dream, just wanted to be the creative guy in the little dark room plugging away on the computer.
Literally.
Yeah. So that's where I kind of hit my trajectory, my career path. Wasn't seeking the fame and fortune, wasn't seeking the big dollars and C-level suite stuff that she was. So we had very different paths, but they somehow merged at the same company.
More like, boom, crazy how it's interesting. It's interesting to think about that because...
Well, it's even more interesting is how that company was formed. So like I said, I was always in the more kind of boutique, small production, post-production places in New York City, 20 employees, maybe max. And that was kind of a bit of a dying breed in the mid 2000s. A lot of the networks and ad agencies were buying up all these little boutique places as their video entity that they want. And so there was a company based out of Atlanta that bought the company that I was working at. So now all of a sudden I was wrapped up into the big agency world, which I never wanted. And that's where Natalie got a job on the agency side of that company. I was on the boutique creative side on one wing. She was on the agency marketing side on the other wing. Same company. We didn't really work together, but we would pass each other in the hallways and meet at the coffee station and say, hey,
the beautiful thing is I thought I was much older, but I saw him because all those people on that side,
It's a bit of a young crowd.
it felt like a lot younger, but I saw him and I was like, who's that? Literally, I'll never forget. And I was like, oh, I want that one.
I have that effect. Yeah.
Did you realize she just akined you to a donut at the case of Dunkin' Donuts? You get that, right?
I'll have that one. You can have that one. I'll have that one.
Oh yeah,
right?
That was so. I'll never forget that. I'll just because I don't know, there was something
It's
there.
the Italian flavored donut.
Nice, nice.
More of a cannoli, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, how actually did you meet?
So I can tell
I guess we met in the hallway.
Yeah, we started like,
So romantic.
office flirting and like, hey, you want to go talk in the
You
kitchen?
you want a donut?
But how we actually met is the cool part. So I had totally had my eye on. We had started talking, but we literally never sat down and had like a conversation. We never really truly engaged with each other, at all. And we had a Christmas party, of course. It's always about the Christmas parties, right? And we went to I went to this thing, and I always hung out with the CEO and all the, C-level peeps, because that's where I was. And so we sat at our own table, and we filled the entire restaurant. Yeah.
That's where destiny stepped in.
The whole place was packed, but there was one seat left by no design of mine.
Well, I walked in and I went to one area where my people were, where I would normally have hung out with the people I know, my colleagues. No seats available. All right, see you guys later. I got to go find a seat over here somewhere with the people I don't know or ever talk to, and the CEO and all the people that I don't really want to talk to. But Natalie was in that group, and the only seat available was next to her.
Like where he's sitting now. No joke.
The only seat in the house.
So that really happened. Yeah. But literally that was the event.
But it was because we got to talking for the first time, really.
Yeah.
We'd pass each other in the hallway and, share a coffee real quick. But that was the first time we really got some good FaceTime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And there clearly was a connection, a very obvious connection there.
Well,
there's also lots of cocktails involved. So.
There's lots of things.
Could that connection be caused also besides cocktails? Because they were there. But could it have been this twin flame aspect? And can you expand on what that means?
Yeah. I've always, I definitely bring the esoteric, metaphysical, spiritual element to our relationship, because it's just kind of the path that I took after I got divorced and knew that I had to make a big difference in my life. And so, it was interesting because it's only been recently in the last couple of years where we've been able to really reflect on this relationship and how we have become like a very true mirror to each other. All relationships essentially are mirrors, but a relationship when you're intimately involved and enmeshed in our own, and we, I start a business, and then he comes into the business, and we run the business, and then we have our life, and we have our fur babies, and we have, so you're on every level, you're together. It's been quite magical to actually really see with clarity that we are twin flames, because we have become a mirror for each other. And there is never, ever a situation where someone's in more of this power play over the other person. It's this give, take, give, equalized, when I'm down laying on the ground, weeping, he picks me up. When he's down on the ground, maybe not weeping, but
I'm a guy, we don't cry. Can't do it.
You don't need quiche either, I know.
In our DNA, we don't have tear ducts.
They do though. But we pick each other up, and that I mean, I've never experienced, and it's also this, I feel like this knowing of unconditional love, which can exist in any relationship. But the fact that someone can be like, can smack you with truth that might shake you to your core, and you just say, you're right. You're fucking right.
Yeah, so there's an intensity about it. It's not just, the nice concept of soulmates and you're meant to be together. No, there's an intensity layer behind it where you can really expose each other's, for lack of a better term, flaws or faults, but in a positive way, where you're saying, you got all this shit, but so do I, and I'm here to help you, and I know you're here to help me. So let's navigate this together, rather than beating someone down, pushing someone down, and just hurting them, whether physical or emotional or spiritual or what. I mean, the truth can hurt, as we well know, but we're here to help each other through those truths, because we can't often help ourselves. Sometimes we bury our truths, or we can't even see it sometimes. Yeah. And it takes somebody to be like, look, dude, you got to get out of this funk. And I'm here to tell you what that funk is and how to help you get out of it.
Yeah. So you're equally showing each other. Yeah. You're equally telling each other, you're bringing things to light. And then you kind of step into this power couple scenario because you empower each other. So the secret sauce of all the twin flame components is you're being mirrors, you're telling, hey, here's the truth about this. And it's not going to come out like this. It's going to come out in sometimes the screaming matches, in kind of like this volatile way, but it's received on the other end like, fuck, man, I call it, you just twin flamed my ass.
Yeah, it's not about holding grudges or getting even or, tit for tat kind of thing. It's like, okay, yeah, I fucked up. Here we go. Let's get through this together. Rather than someone walking out or someone doing something stupid.
Yeah. I mean, and not to say, that it's been interesting because that even brings to light the triggers that you're carrying that are hiding the truth of who you are, that isn't allowing you to be authentic in who you are, because you're getting triggered from, the daddy that was the narcissist, or maybe the mommy that, didn't really give a shit about you in the way that you thought, or, just these little things that are from the past, but very easily get brought into our relationships and trigger the hell out of us. And it's, I mean, I think a really good example, I can't tell you how many times over the course of the decade that we've been together. And my first thing was like fight or flight. I would fly. I'd pack my bag and be like, I'm leaving. And I never would leave.
Literally, she would get the suitcase out of the closet and like haphazardly throw stuff in. I'm like, what are you doing? Where are you going to go? You're not going anywhere.
No, but that was my trick. That was me triggering, because, it's so much easier to be like, when I was single, it's easier to be alone.
Sure is.
It's just easier, especially when like, for me, I always wanted to be in a relationship where we are not in a needy, an unhealthy codependent relationship, right? And so for me, I was like, well, fuck that, I'm out, because I can do whatever the hell I want, and I'm gonna go over here, and I go, but then I'm like, that's not what I want. I don't want that. Like this was something that kept bringing.
Literally say, I don't need you, and I would take that to heart. Sometimes I'd be like, what do you mean you don't need me? That's not nice.
But
that's not cool.
I was saying,
but then I would realize what she really meant by that is that she didn't want to form a dependent relationship.
Right.
I want you. I desire you. I don't need you. Need is
a healthy relationship,
not
right?
A great space to be in. Right.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to kind of understand that, because I had the understanding that, we need each other, right? I didn't really think of what that truly meant. But that's because I have my own traumas and my own triggers from my family, who is in a very codependent enmeshed relationship. So I was triggered by that. But it was a learning curve. And it was these things, little things like that. One word that meant so much that she had to say to me to really make me understand what that really meant for the greater picture of what a relationship is.
Right.
So it's little things like that, little moments that can really define big moments in a relationship.
Mm-hmm. So
And
two
helps-
things I want to touch on.
Yeah.
One,
Yeah.
how long into your relationship did you become husband and wife, and how long into your relationship did you become business partners?
So we've been together total 10 years, married for 5, engaged for a couple of years. So it was like 3 years or so when I popped the question into our relationship. And so we've been married for 5 years.
Yeah.
Now.
And we actually
So-
I started the business first, and he was still working full time and then came into it later. But I started the business actually 5 years ago. Almost 6 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So it was, and I wonder, so I've often thought about this. So twin flames, I think, can get in like all your tentacles kind of wrapped into each other because you're healthy individuals separately. There is no codependency. So there's not unhealthy. I mean, I say that with a grain of salt, like sure, things come up and everything, but you can like we're working together has been, hasn't been as challenging as I think it.
Well, we met at work.
Oh,
Yeah, and
So
that's probably
we
it too.
met a company that we worked at.
Yeah.
So from the first time we met each other, it was in a working environment.
Yeah.
It wasn't a meeting online thing or through a friend or happenstance or at a bar. We met in the workforce.
Yeah.
So we already had that understanding of what it means to work together. And after we did have our little holiday party, we ended up working on some projects together at that company. So we got to sit in a room and actually collaborate and work together. And that was really awesome. Not just to go on dates all the time, like, hey, let's actually create stuff and do things together in our careers.
Yeah.
So we had that basis from the very onset. So working together in a business that we own was very natural. It was a very natural feeling. It wasn't like, oh my God, how the hell am I going to work with my wife? How's that going to go down? That's all we really knew was working together.
For us, and I think in this twin flame world, in that aspect, it's like you're best friends, right? And so being friends with each other and always like, yeah, let's go hang out.
Yeah.
So being twin flames, you can be a mirror for each other. And we've discussed how it could bring stuff up to be cleared and healed. And even if it's not in this lovely sing-song tone of voice that you bring it up,
Always.
you two can still, you have figured out that A, you want to work it out, and B, it's workoutable, right? If that's a word. But so that's some of the challenges, right? So can you tell me though, the flip side of that, how has your journey been since you've molded your lives together and your visions of, what you wanted, because we've already talked about what you thought you wanted before you met.
Yeah. Well, for me, she would always look at me and tell me, you're a maker, you're a builder. I'm like, what do you mean I'm a builder? I do video work. What are you talking about? I'm not a builder. She's like, no, you are that is your soul. You're a builder, you're a creator. It's like, okay, whatever. I don't know what that means. And it turns out I'm really getting into a role now of being a builder, being a maker. And I am going through a sort of transition with who I am. But it's interesting because I realized what I was doing for a living with video editing is that I was building. I was creating videos, little pieces of shots here and music here and this and that, and putting it together into what becomes a video was building, was creating. And as a kid, I always loved puzzles and Legos and construction sets and all that stuff. I'm like, if she was right, again, That's it.
And I'm just sitting there going,
She's like, I
I'll
told
wait.
you, you're a builder. I was like, okay, so let's figure out what this means for me. I'm a builder. So it took her saying this constant thing to me to really say, oh yeah, this is what I am doing. This is what I need to be doing. And I am currently making that transition. So it was powerful understanding that she saw me for who I was, truly. Even though I was going on this path, she saw that I really needed to be going on this path. And I was like, well, I studied this, I've built my career doing this, and I don't want to just throw that all away, but I can easily segue that because it's kind of what I was doing anyway, just on a computer, on a screen, but I can do it tangibly now with my hands and with wood or metal or whatever. So it's not that crazy of a transition, but it took her showing me, telling me what she saw in me for me to really see it.
And encouraging you, right? I mean, think about it.
Yep.
Some people don't want their partner to really about face, well, not about face, but diverge. They like the known path, So it's lovely that you had a cheerleader.
Yeah. And she was the captain of the cheerleader team, and she was in high school, so
that's
of course
works out.
Of course. Yeah. So, for me, even, it was also pulling my true soul out and being comfortable and being vulnerable and humble enough to keep pulling that out, because, there's been a lot that I've hidden from the world, not to him, but from the world. And I was like, why am I hiding that I'm intuitive, that I have psychic abilities? Why am I hiding that? Why am I hiding my magic? Why am I not sharing the fact that I'm a witch? And I'm very happy sharing that. But, it's because of him, me doing that to him, but him being just this presence in my life to allow me to be comfortable to speak my truth. So that's like the other side of it too, is that vulnerability and just knowing the other person will accept you for who you really are, no matter what. That's important.
Yeah, I never tried to put her in a box or a category or anything like that. Just you are you. You are you. And that's how we knew that from the beginning.
Yeah.
And we weren't the types of people, I grew up in a family where that was a very different situation, very defined gender roles. This is what your job is. This is what your job is. And that's it. No questions. I never saw it that way. And so a woman like her, she wouldn't have taken a guy like that anyway.
No.
You're like, dude, you don't tell me what to do. Get out of here. I don't care what flavored donut you are.
Right. I'm returning this donut.
Yeah.
So she needs to go through her journey, but I was there to support whatever twists and turns that took. Like quitting her job and starting a business in New York City, that's not an easy thing to do. Because
mostly it's leaving the big fat paycheck.
Even with a good paycheck, you're living paycheck to paycheck in New York City. And so you drop that thing. I could have been like, hell no, you're not dropping that. We can't survive. We have to have this income. What are you doing? You're crazy. But I knew she was losing her mind every day, doing the job that she was doing, being around the people she was around, just not being able to progress in the way she wanted to progress, being in these toxic agency environments. The money wasn't worth it at all. It would have been better to be broke and happier than to be still broke, because that's New York City, and unhappy.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was always there to support that.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's segue then into how you support your tribe, because I know that a lot of people are in the situation you were in where you were not doing what you thought you wanted to do. Or actually, let's put it this way. you thought you were doing what you wanted to do, but there was some kind of nagging little something that just wasn't quite right. And, you were lucky enough to meet each other, you support each other, you challenge each other. But let's say I don't have that in the relationship I'm in. I'm not going to go get divorced because I don't have that, but how can I get the help, the support? So I know you have a couple things that you offer along those lines. So can we talk about that for a minute?
Yes.
Okay.
So in our like where we're still using the all the expertise, wisdom from all the years of both of our pasts, and where it got us, that's how we support businesses to come to life in the content space. So creative content. And that brand is called Team Goo, and Goo is short for gurus because we're gurus. But that's, I'm a writer. We both can write scripts for videos. He's a brilliant video editor. We do graphic design work. We have several people on the team that help us really expand those pieces. But that brand has really evolved. And honestly, the way I look at it is we're really truly helping people express their magic into the world, because as business owners, we get clusterfucked in our brain about who we are and what we provide and our gift.
Yeah.
We get so focused on like, what if nobody else likes it? Oh my God, I'm not good enough. Wait, that's not, like, woo. So we just kind of help them. We help people that are running businesses stop and just bring that gift forward, because that's like, I can use my intuitive gifts to really help that. Mark is super intuitive, even though
I was just going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Did you just say yes, dear, in a way, Mark?
But
I have to say that sometimes.
Yeah,
Yes, dear.
But so that's Team Goo, and that's how we can support people, like people that are feeling like they're stuck and want to launch that business and just need to like get it out, get it going, get it started, and stop, the spiraling. As my tattoo, it's a good reminder, don't get stuck here.
Love that.
In the spiral. Or if you've been running a company for a while and you're like, I know that I'm not bringing my true magic out. Companies need to evolve. They can, as fast as we evolve, that's how fast companies should evolve too. And then on the flip side of that, I actually, amidst all of this, I had a dream. I get lots of those, lots of downloads and dreams. And Disrupt Now came to me as we were like exiting New York City. And it was like this next iteration. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this thing is, but I just got a huge download, so I'm just going to start it. And it became a podcast, and it's been thriving, and it's crazy because I didn't even know what that really needed to be. But the ethos of it is, through massive chaos, through disruption, that is where the massive opportunity and ask for you to transform as a human is made. And it can feel very dark. It can feel very consuming. It's the way up though. And the dream even had, the word up in Disrupt as like an up signal. Like the whole word means evolution, up, out of this stuck, that gooey tar crap that you feel like you're stuck in. So that's been evolving really quickly as well. And I actually am launching a program called Tap Into Your Magic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And really, it's about, it's like my story, like not being able to say, I'm not bringing my intuitive self out, my psychic self out, my magic witch healer self out. She was like trapped in this little box going, I want out, bitch.
You let her out on the weekends. We know that.
I sure did. But that needs to come out way sooner.
Right.
Way sooner in our existence. And we need to be loud and clear about it and stop being concerned with who doesn't like us when we say our truth. because those people do not matter. They are not on your resonant frequency. It does not matter. Keep going, right? So there's that. But then we have another thing that we've started because we really needed to productize and really lift Mark up with all of the work that he's been really doing. So I'll shut up.
Yeah, it's about time.
I knew that.
Can I say something? Yeah, so I have a new iteration of something that we're doing, and it's called Make Your Mark Creations. I don't know if you caught it, but my name's in there. Very sneaky, I know. But so I had a bit of a journey the last 4 years, and there were some tough times moving away from all the things that I had ever known in New York, moving to a new space. We moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. And, she had done it before. She moved all around the country from Nevada to Northern California, Southern California, whatever, and then to New York. So that was big for her. And she did that, but I had never done anything like that. The furthest west I ever gone, I think, was Philadelphia. But we knew that New York was not sustainable for us. We knew that we needed to change. We knew a lot of things needed to happen in our lives to move us forward. But I was kind of stuck in my past. And, what am I going to do? What's my family going to think? Blah, blah, blah. But it was the best experience ever because it got me out of the box that I was stuck in for so long. And that's also what has helped me see me for who I am as the builder and the creator that she always saw me as. So through that process, I started just finding outlets to help with anxiety and to help with some things like that. And I was wanting to work with my hands. So I just picked up carpentry randomly, woodworking. I didn't know a thing about it, never studied it. And also jewelry making. Again, never studied it, never knew a thing about it, but just started messing around with things. I knew I needed to get my hands on something. So I was just doing things as kind of this creative outlet. And I was like making some really cool stuff. I was like, hey, maybe we can sell this stuff. I don't know. And I have a whole arsenal of crystal jewelry and woodworking stuff that we're getting up on Etsy and everything and making some sales. And it's really helped show me that, I need to transition what I'm doing while I'm still doing it, not like cold turkey. So that's called Make Your Mark Creations. And it's really about, like she said, expressing you. So crystals have all sorts of different transformative properties and powers. And for any area you are in your life, there's a crystal that can help you through that process. So as part of that, you can send me a note of the things that you're going through or whatever, things that you're looking for, and I can custom tailor a piece of jewelry for you to help you tap into that
magic
that you need.
Magic.
Yeah.
So you're not actually giving training to people, but you are giving one-on-one personal
The
pieces.
power for other people to
Okay.
get the thing that they need.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about as that piece has been coming to life, because I realized as well, I want to get away from this thing too called laptop computer land, internet land, and so I'm like, I want to make products. And it just so happened, like, I'm going through a major healing journey, and that's like a whole other podcast or chat show, but as part of that, I've started training as a master herbalist, really bringing my roots of priestess shamanic blood to life through this work. And I'm really, man, as there's so much I'm learning, I'm like, my mind is exploding with information. But so I started making candles and, using herbs and essential oils and crystals and stuff and bringing that to life to add to his, that all the stuff, all the products that we're making to also, get me more further into my purpose as it is for him. So it's been like a really amazing fuel of bringing this together because, we have services that can help, but it's also products that can help. Right. So it's kind of both sides. And just a tip for everybody, the only way that you can scale your business is by productizing your business and getting, if you're in a business like us where it's man hours for money exchanges, fuck, you burn out really quick. I mean, it's a lot. It's just like you got to bring something else to life so you have other lines of revenue coming in, right?
Right.
But to also speak back to the twin flame thing in regards to that new product line that we have, this is something that I started, something that was important for me and for my journey, but I didn't need to make it my thing only.
Right.
You're like, oh, this is my thing. Why you got to step on that? You got your stuff going on. This is my thing. No, you want to make stuff and add to the products? Yeah, great. I mean, it's so complementary and it works so well. So why not bring it all together? Because that's what we've always done. We've always worked together. So this is not my thing as I needed this for me. I need this for myself. No, this is everything we do supports each other.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, of course. You want to make candles? You don't need to make your Natalie brand. You can add it to make your Mark.
Yeah, that would be a horrible brand.
Yeah, that would be
too.
a bad name anyway.
Yeah, doesn't really work the same.
So it's still my name, but she's
well,
alive.
so's Viglione. Apparently she's not that worried about it.
She didn't do the hyphenate.
No, definitely
So
not.
listen, when Make Your Mark starts teaching classes and workshops and how-tos and blah, 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 because I'm just saying, I don't think Make Your Mark's done.
No, it's just getting started.
Man, it's just like I'm building the website now with our team.
Yeah,
well,
definitely a good thing that you said is that workshops and teaching people how to do this stuff for themselves too. And I'm even getting, like I said, into carpentry and construction in some ways, and we're helping out at this school here in our area, helping them build. I'm literally helping them build classrooms, and I'm stepping into that. And I had a strategy call with the guy who's in charge there because they need help, and I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Let's help it all along. So I'm stepping into my power finally of being a strategist and a leader too, which is something that was not my trajectory 10 years ago.
And I'm always like,
and she's like, I told you so.
I can't help it.
Told you.
I'm also really
everything.
excited.
I'm always right.
Yeah, it must be really annoying being with somebody who's intuitive. I mean, that seriously, it's like
I can't get away with anything.
Oh, nope.
It's for the best.
Mark, I kind of want to feel sorry for you, and I kind of want to marry Natalie myself. So I don't really know which way to go with this. I really don't.
It's a conundrum.
You got no sympathy from this end. I'm sorry.
I love that. That was amazing.
Well, okay. So look, if anybody can be as grounded and as okay with being themselves as you two are, because you cannot elevate if you're not even okay with yourself. Like, you have to at least have a solid base of that before you can go anywhere, right? Before you can be in relationships, start a business, do better at the job you have, right? And you have so many different avenues to express you and to help other people. That is all of this on, I mean, I'm gonna have all of your information on there, but if someone says, hey, I just want to go to the website, is all of it on the website, or how do we work that?
Yeah, natalieviglione.com actually is like kind of a working hub for all the pieces.
Why is it your name? Why
can't your name is under Make Your Mark?
Okay, fine.
Because I build websites.
Fine. Could have gotten Natalie and Mark Viglione.com, but just saying.
That's actually a really good idea. Well,
see, I'm right sometimes too. Sometimes.
Most times, let's be real. But yeah, so that's just kind of a hub. So it goes out, but Make Your Mark Creations will be done soon, but it does have an Etsy store. Make Your Mark shop spelled like shoppy.
Shoppy, Shoppe.
Okay.
So yeah. But
Okay.
Viglione.com has all the little places people can find us, and we are on Instagram as well, but that's a good place to start. I mean, not so fond of the Facebook world
Big tech
these days, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I know there's way more words of wisdom, and I'm going to ask an open-ended question. What are your last thoughts or pearls or gems or insights, or just, how would you like to make your mark at the end of this conversation?
Is my turn?
I think so.
You talking to me? You go first.
Talking to you both.
All right. Well, he'll probably do something witty and funny as all hell, but I'm stuck in this. Don't ever just say this is good enough, because there is always better, and there's always something that needs to come to life through you that can bring you to that place of understanding that you should never be in the situation of thinking, nah, whatever, this is all right. Whether that's a relationship, your career, or just your life in general. Because if you disrupt it and change it and you break through the other side, man, that is what I think the true, that whole analogy of the grass is greener, because it really actually can be on that other side.
Nice.
This is my turn now?
Yeah, now yeah.
Okay. I think I would say something to speak to the journey that I've been through is to not be a people pleaser. We're often taught that selfishness is a bad thing. You have to be selfless all the time. You have to think about others all the time. And yes, you have to think about others, but you have to think about yourself first and foremost. And we're not really taught that growing up. I mean, maybe some people are, but it's a common theme to not put yourself first. But you will never fall into line with your true purpose if you don't put yourself first. Doesn't matter what anyone thinks. People will, when you start a business or you do something outside the box, people are going to tell you you're crazy. I mean, it happens to everybody. Why are you doing that? Why are you moving? Why are you quitting your job? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Don't worry about it. Worry about your life. Don't worry about me. I know what I'm doing. And you have to trust that you know what you're doing. And don't let people steer you in a direction. You have to steer your own ship. But you can have other people on the ship with you to help you along the way. But you're in charge. You're the captain of your life. Too often we don't fulfill that role, and people are on their deathbeds saying, I regret not living my life for me. I lived it for everybody else.
Yep.
It's not a good place to be in.
Wow, Mark. That was insightful.
Yeah. Sweet.
And serious. What happened?
What'd I say? I think I blacked out.
You blacked out. It's one of those
Okay.
moments.
There's a reason.
I just channeled something.
Right? You did. I just want to make sure you're okay over there. Wow. This was awesome.
You can reboot.
I'll let you edit that part out if you have to.
I'll add some cartoon sound effects or something.
There you go. Add some little fart noises or something.
Obviously. Oh, well, thank you, Kimberly. This was awesome. Thank you for doing this with us and asking us to be on. This was awesome.
Yeah, I want to just thank you both for the journey you took us on, and all of your insights and your wisdom. I really treasure the information that you have shared with all of us today. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And to everyone watching, we hope that you have really enjoyed this very, very unique episode of the Happiness Retreat, which, by the way, I hope we can repeat it when you have more products and services to tell us about. We hope you've gotten some inspiration, some motivation, some guidance, and some clarity in your connection with your own soul and being the master of your own energy. So thank you, Natalie and Mark. And until next time, everyone.